Adam Reynolds, captain of the Brisbane Broncos. How are you, mate?
I'm doing well, thank you. Doing very well.
All right, mate. We don't get to have these conversations on air very often. We've had plenty of them on the phone before. 41 points to 16 last weekend.
Yep.
It was poor.
Yeah,
it was poor.
Yeah, it was disappointing. Very disappointing. We highlighted things in video where we were clearly beaten in attitude, effort, and that's the disappointing part. We can, handle getting beat by skill and whatnot, but effort and attitude was, that's the disappointing part.
How does that happen, mate? I mean, round 21, season on the line, and the Broncos that were last year's grand finalists get beaten on effort. Like, not skill, not fitness, effort. What's going on?
Yeah, that's the disappointing part. And we had a soul-searching meeting the other morning. We got a lot out of that meeting, and the response is what we're looking for now. We've trained extremely well today. We've had them honest conversations behind closed doors, and they'll remain behind closed doors. And it's about obviously facing the challenge now. We're a lot of talk about Brisbane at the moment, myself included.
I am going to get to
that head on. It's not shying away from it. It's about facing it head on.
Okay, well, let's go back, and I'm going to be honest with you, and it's ugly. February, you guys have a rumble in a park where you and Pat Carrigan and Corey Oates are in the headlights with the police, well known.
Yep.
You go to Vegas. There's the racial slur on Ezra Mam. You come back. You've then got the issues around Payne Huss's father. You've got then a real issue off the back of Reece gets suspended. You get injured. You've got the issue with Selwyn. You've got the talk going on about the Broncos and they're ahead of themselves. And is it the fact that the last 12 months since that grand final that it wasn't addressed properly, that things have got out of control? This is not a coaching thing, that the players have got out of control.
No, I don't think so. A lot of those things you just mentioned there are uncontrollable, out of our hands, family issues, all those sort of things, injuries, suspensions, that's part of the game. We've been tested, really tested this year with depth. You got to remember we've had 5 players out of a grand final side move on, so that's a large chunk of players as well. That's not an excuse, but we certainly haven't played to our potential this year, and that's the disappointing thing because we know what we have in them change rooms there at Red Hill, and it's a challenge, and that's why I came to Brisbane. Team wasn't doing so great at the time, and as a team we've worked extremely hard to get to where we were last year, but last year's last year. We can't keep comparing ourselves to last year. We're a different team. We're a different group of players. And we're in it together. We're in it to fight, and we'll keep fighting.
Did you wash it away though properly last year? Like talking to people who have lost grand finals, and I know you've lost them before. Did you guys really address it enough? Like I understand you reviewed it. I understand you all, but it is a completely different season the way things have gone, and I understand that your top 5 players have only played together 5 times this season out of 21 rounds. I get that. But did you really address it, do you feel, enough? Because it was not just a loss, it was a heartbreaking loss.
Yeah. Yeah, I personally do think we addressed it. I think the coaches did a fantastic job. Kevy sat us down at the start of the year, obviously, to review the game, things where we could have been better and moments that we weren't good enough. And you got to understand that every individual processes it different. I might process it different to a 21-year-old or a 50-gamer. So everyone's different in terms of how they get over it or, move on from that area. But I think we handled it the right way at the start of the year. We watched it, we reviewed it, we spoke about it in Red Hill behind the closed doors. We had the hard messages amongst each other, and but there's no excuses to drag that through this season. I think we started the year pretty well. We obviously didn't do too well over in Vegas. We came back, put a couple of games together, and typical media talked us up like we were next big things and
Yeah, but
whatnot.
you can understand why. You were 3 minutes away from winning a premiership last year, and I know you've lost 4 players. I understand
But
that.
that's last year. That's completely irrelevant to this year. If you keep going off last year's results, well, we're not last year's team, so that's irrelevant to what we're going through now.
And I've never asked you this. Do you own any blame for the loss of the grand final?
100% I do. I spoke to you about this. You ask all 17 players that are on the field and they all say the same. It's a team sport. We've got to realise that it's not an individual that loses a game or whatnot. It's a team sport, so everyone feels responsible for, it might be one moment in the game that hurts, but there's 17 or 18 other things that led up to that. So you can't solely blame it on one moment in the game, if that makes sense.
You're the captain of the Broncos. And, mate, that comes with pressure. It comes with an expectation. You're a premiership player. You're a halfback. Are you going to continue on as the captain? That's probably, because the reports are that people wanting you to resign as the captain and be replaced by Patrick Carrigan. Now, that's not saying that you shouldn't be playing for the side. That's not saying you shouldn't be the halfback. But do you want to continue on as the captain? Are you the right bloke for it?
Yeah, I believe so. I've sort of been bagged, pushed down, whatever, my whole career. I understand the pressure it comes with, but one of the greatest coaches in our game, Wayne Bennett, told me, you listen to the spectators, you end up sitting with them. It's great advice. I'm not ready to sit in the stands yet, so I still believe I am the right man for the job until Kevy or anyone else says otherwise. And
have you had a chat with Kevy about it? I mean, I've never spoken to Kevin about it. Have you talked about it? Has that ever come up?
No, I don't think there was a reason to be honest. Until Kev wants to go in a different direction, then look, my job won't change regardless of whether I got the C next to my name or not. I still got a job to go out there, do my job. Still got to play my role within the team. I still got to influence the team. So it's the role of a halfback. You got to do that anyway.
Do you get hurt by the commentary and the outside? I mean, you're a dad. You're kids, and you're a husband. Does it hurt you?
Nah, not really. No, I don't. If it comes from in the 4 walls at Red Hill, then it matters. But to anyone else on the outside, it's just irrelevant. There's no need to listen to that or dive into it. It's just, everyone's got an opinion, and rightfully so. They have an opinion, and they're allowed an opinion. But if you take your focus away from what actually really matters and who the opinions matter, well, then, you're not focused on what you should be doing.
Can you lead this team better? Can Adam Reynolds, can you do a better job in leading this team on the field?
No, you can always say yes.
But do you believe that?
Everyone's chasing perfection always. Results speak for themselves. If you're not winning games, you can obviously do something better, and we're not winning games. So, yeah, you can do better.
You're injured still, though, aren't you? I want you to be honest here. You shouldn't have come... No, you can laugh all you want. We're being... You come back early for the team.
No, I was good enough to go and play.
So, because it looks to me like you're still struggling tackling-wise, and you're favouring the other arm. And we're great mates, but it does look like that, honestly.
I wouldn't put myself out there if I didn't think I could play to a standard where I think is acceptable. I came back a little bit early, but it's not to say that it wasn't ready. You're never going to be 100% coming back from an injury. You can put it that way. You asked a couple of boys who have come back from long-term injuries, and you'll get the same answer.
Have you got ahead of yourself as a club within the 4 walls? And you guys had an honest session this week. I'm not going to ask what's going to. You probably wouldn't tell me anyway. But have you guys got ahead of yourself? That rock star, superstar mentality that everybody's saying. Like, I've never seen it before. But are you guys believing your own? Are you believing the stuff that's said outside those 4 walls?
No, we're working extremely hard behind closed doors. We're fighting. It's a year of learning. You got to understand it's still a relatively young squad. We're still, building. And when you lose a lot of players throughout a season, it takes a little bit of time to still get used to, combination structures, all those sort of things. Success just doesn't happen overnight. It takes, a lot of hard work to achieve that. And You know, we've worked extremely hard. We didn't get the results this year, like I mentioned before. We've been tested through injury, suspension, player turnover, whatever you want to say it is. But we still believe that we've got the club, the squad, the players to go out there and do something great.
Are you the right bloke to lead this side to a premiership?
I believe so.
But yeah, you believe so. Do you think your teammates believe it?
I do believe it, yes. I do believe it. I get the luxury of working, 5-6 days a week with these boys. I see all the hard work that goes in. I stand with them every week in the line, and unless I feel otherwise, then I'll continue doing my job.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.